Taking an abbreviated version of Fiji Village Straight Talk out of the studios and looking at different things that are happening. And as you would know, that Fiji Village has been covering a lot of issues where you have been telling us, raising concerns about what is happening in the city of Suva and the surrounding areas. Today I have the Director of Operations of the Fiji Police Force, SSP Kasiano Vusonilawe, who has been talking to us about changing the posture of the Fiji Police Force in terms of addressing what is happening in Suva City. We will go into that detail, but here we've got a tent already set up and ready to go as far as operations are concerned along Victoria Parade. First of all, thank you very much, sir, for availing yourself. Yeah, I know you're really busy trying to work out these operations. As Director of Operations, you've decided to set up some tents in Suva City. If you can explain to the people what is happening.
Thank you, Mr. Vijay. By the way, Bula Winaka, the change in terms of the strategy of operations down in the city of Suva, because of the concern has been raised by the public. And in that, the visibility of police officers on the streets. So we have made up a mind to create tent in 4 locations in the CBD of Suva City. The one is at Stewart Street. The other one is a Terror Walk, which is along Cumming Street. And one here at the Suva City Library, with the 4th one at the Handicraft Center, just to make sure that the security on the ground, safety of our local people, and likewise our visitors.
This has been a concern for people. Of course, this area in particular where I'm standing with you comes alive at night, and a lot of things are happening here at night. There's talk of people moving around here. First of all, loitering. A lot of young people loitering, moving around in packs and trying to pounce on people who are coming out of night spots or restaurants. What is your plan in relation to what is happening in here, and how will you counter that?
Mr. Vijay, the tent that is right here with us this morning, it will be here throughout the night. So the static guard will be in the tent, and also the officers will be walking the streets just to make sure to address those issues has been raised in the previous months and years. But I admit to the public out there that our absence always been observed, because where we're supposed to deploy our manpower, we are not there. So I urge the public, I urge the community out there, we are changing our concept of operations, and to please just comply with us. We'll try to improve the way we do things.
Loitering is a big issue, and mainly amongst the young people who are seen loitering. How will you address that? A lot of people are saying it's time to clear out loiterers, mainly at night or even in the daytime.
Thank you. On that sense, we'll try to coordinate with other government ministries, especially the social welfare in terms of juveniles, and also the adults, of what will be the best way forward or the solution to this. Because I'm sure that we police officers, we need other government agencies to assist us on this. And we'll try to do that in next week or so, and we will come back with a solution, then we'll come back to you.
Assaults, robberies, you will now be walking the street. I believe you're also looking at some CCTV cameras to be installed to help you?
Yes, we have approached the Suva City Retailers Associations a few years back. We had a meeting when the former commissioner was here, Mr. Ngilio, but the Suva City Retailers Association has promised us on that. But we'll try to negotiate and also approach the Suva City Council management of how best they can assist us. We really need CCTV cameras on the ground, because that is our investigations in terms of some reactive process of investigations, and likewise the proactive part of it.
One of the things is the people a lot of people who say they have been robbed or they have been hassled, they have not filed police reports because they say the action will not be taken or the action may be slow. What is your message to the people watching this?
Thank you. The public out there, I urge you, please lodge your official reports. And if nothing has been done after 7 days or after a few days, give me a call through 9904-905, your Director of Operations in the Fiji Police, and I'll make sure that things are done on the ground by the police.
There you go, SSP Vusunilawe giving his own mobile contact. You can contact him directly if no action is taken within 7 days. We will now walk the streets and look at different places. You can talk to us about the operations and how critical it is based on your strategic planning that you have to do this to ensure Suva is safe.
Thank you, sir.
Director of Ops, definitely this place is alive at night, and you need your officers to be walking before this has been a concern by members of the public. So what will change from this week?
We'll try to make sure that our officers are on the ground from, especially in the weekend. We'll make sure that all the officers are present here to control the crowd. That's one. Secondly, I'm sure that we have the murder case. You know about that happens here after they have enjoyed themselves in the nightclubs. So those are the things that we really want to avoid in terms of our presence and the visibility during those hours.
One of the things the force has raised quite strongly, even with the Minister for Home Affairs, is the issue regarding nightclub hours. You have made a strong statement about the issues that you face with nightclubs closing at 5 in the morning. What is the force's stand on that?
We made our recommendations in line with the crime stacks that we have observed and analyzed and the hours of happenings. So we have seen that the criminal activities, serious cases always happen at the early hours of the morning after the closure of the nightclub.
Mainly along this stretch?
Yes. So what we recommended to the government or to the minister to relook into the opening hours of the nightclubs and also the closing hours. So it will be relevant to us to provide the security during those hours and avoid these criminal hiccups that have been taking place a few years back.
One of the things we noticed too in the course of the day, we passing through, we see more visibility of uniformed officers in the city.
Yes, because we now, the month of June and July, we are having our divisional operations in which we giving the ownership of operations to the division police commanders to run their operations. And one of the mode of ops is the visibility. And that is during the 3 shift in a day, which is morning, afternoon, and night shift. And we have a team, audit team, that always follow up on what we have planned and what we have, the guidance that we have given the division police commanders. They have started yesterday, and just to make sure that things are done on the ground. Otherwise, we are talking here, but the footprint on the ground, you won't see our officers on the ground because most of our officers are young officers.
Yeah, walking the talk is important. Where do you think we went? Where do you think we went wrong? Maybe the groups of criminals or would-be criminals found the opportunity because the police was not acting or posturing his operations in the right manner?
Yes, always the criminals, they observe our movement. They change their mode of operandus or they change their hours of operations. Because when we sleep on duty, that's their opportunity to do things. So they have their plans with them, but they are looking for opportunity. So the opportune time when we are not alert at work in terms of re-strategizing. If one strategy does not work, we have to change. Otherwise, the criminals, they will work smarter than us.
One of the things is that, we're getting a lot of, as I was telling you when we were just near the tent along Victoria Parade, the issue regarding the people calling us up, members of the public, saying they get attacked, they get robbed, and there's a whole lot of issues like drug dealing that's even taking place from the food stalls. This was also highlighted to the Minister for Home Affairs. What is being done about that?
We only have increase in terms of our visibility in town, but the other way of maneuvering this that comes up in our discussions to reapproach the Suva City Council of how they are issuing the license of those stall owners, and maybe they have to include the number of people that has to be in the stall every night when they are selling. Because in our previous operation last year, we managed to found stolen items
In some of the food stalls.
Yes, and drugs too when we conduct search. So that's evident that criminal element too is being pushed around in those stalls. So we have to discuss further of how best we can solve those issues with the Suva City Council.
I think it's very concerning about the food stalls because yes, there's a issue regarding people need to work and it's about their livelihood. So the issue will come up about that, about people's livelihood. But I believe that you are not looking at a general blanket ban on food stalls, but you're looking at the food stalls that you've identified that have been caught selling drugs and stolen items being found there.
Yeah, that's why, Mr. Vijay, we want the Suva City Council again of how best we can solve those issues. Not to ban the people from selling because they are looking for their life, get money and buy the things for their families, but some kind of disciplinary ways of disciplining these stall owners. If drugs have been found, criminal things have been kept with them. So what are the way forward from there? So we have to discuss with the Suva City Council of how best, what will be the best solutions.
I think the loosening up of some of the systems where many stalls have come up may have contributed to that. Have you made an assessment of that?
Yes, our crime intel unit have gone around and they have some analysis in terms of the criminal activity increases when the stall on the street have increases. Compared to before, there were only few. So there were like hardly any criminal elements taking place in those food stalls. But now, when you walk through the night, you can see the increase in stalls on the streets. That is, I could say that is one of the things that increases our criminal elements on the streets, usually in the night hours.
We're heading to one place where it sort of becomes quite different in the afternoon. The recreational activity here, Albert Park, is full of activity in the afternoons. People playing touch rugby, soccer. Good time for people to have their exercise. A lot of people taking their walks around Albert Park. That has become a big feature. But one issue that has started to come forward is that as it becomes dark, that some people have been robbed here around Albert Park. So, what is your message to the people who are finding it an after-work activity? They were coming here and then they may have heard that there's more attacks and they've stopped coming to do their exercises.
Thank you, Mr. Vijay. For those citizens who usually use the the Albert Park for exercise in the afternoon and late evening. Now we assure you that we will be having police officers around Albert Park in the late evening, just to make sure safety is provided in terms of security when you are running the streets, in terms of exercise, because we have learned this in the previous last month when one of the the bicycle was stolen. Maybe when we were supposed to be there in uniform on the streets around Albert Park to provide security on the people who are training, and we were not there. So for reconfirm and to the public out there, those people who are coming out for training after work, please feel safe, feel free, enjoy yourself in the evening. The police officers will be around at Albert Park.
Thank you.
Why are we playing outside?
Because my dad is thinking my home is gonna be super cool.
No way!
Yeah, he makes me a new desk.
Whoa, then we can stay together.
He's also gonna paint my walls.
Where did he get this tooth from?
Kasabian, they have everything you need.
I wish my dad could do that.
Because your dad is not Kasabian's dad.
Dad, go to Kasabian!
Bula Vinaka, we are Dauntless Movement Crew here from Australia, and we are so excited to perform for you guys for the Fiji Showcase in 2023.
Move over, cause here we come. We got a party that's kicking like all night long. We got 10 drinks like extra strong, and already be living till we're seeing the sun. Move over, cause here we come. We got a party that's kicking like all night long. We got 10 drinks like extra strong, and already be living till we're seeing the sun. We bring it like this, we bring it like that. We bring it to the party like we all that. Yeah, we got a party here, that's right. We bring it like this, we bring it like that. We bring it to the party like we all that. Yeah, sound is hot, that's right. Move over, cause here we come. We got a party that's kicking like all night long. We got 10 drinks like extra strong.
It's gonna be awesome. So come on down with your family and friends. We'll be at the Vodafone Arena in Suva from the 30th of June to the 8th of July. See you there!
Let's talk about opportunistic crimes. That is another big issue. Where people are around this year, normally sitting around and observing. You must have noticed that, and then eventually they look at who they can strike on, somebody coming out of the club or a restaurant. What is your assessment on the number of opportunistic crimes?
In that, when the police officers come around, they disperse the crowd, this one, just to prevent all those petty theft and petty criminal activities. But in another way, that's why we really need CCTV to be in place, so that when we install CCTV, we have big boards and inform all the people that the street is covered with CCTV. It's a deterrent to the public or to the opportunist. But at the moment, we're really trying hard to solve this issue, because for Central Police Station, their ratio is 1 to 600. So one police officer is looking after 600 people. Maybe in some days in the week will decrease because the number of people are coming in town. But in the weekend increases, maybe over 600, because the people coming from all over the place. Those who come and sell in the market, those who come and do buying in the cities, and maybe those who are just coming here for the sense of coming around. And through those crowds, they are opportunists. So that's why I'm saying that we are trying hard. We are trying our best.
One of the issues you talked about is CCTV. Surveillance is important. connected to Central Police Station so that you are watching in all different places?
Yes, enslaved to Central Operation Center and also at our police command center, which is our current ops, that our officers are there 24/7 monitoring the screens. Now, as we speak, the screen are monitored.
They're watching us?
If the CCTV, there's a camera around, they can see us. Even if the coverage is right to Nosori Airport, even Nandi Airport. It's enslaved to our operation center at Operation Headquarters.
So this has been discussed before that the Suva Retailers Association was expected to assist, as I think also the same was said about the Nosori Chamber of Commerce for Nosori. So do we expect some movement with Suva Retailers Association soon?
We have to re-approach them again because we have set, as I mentioned earlier, last year when the former commissioner was around, they have promised us, but nothing eventuated. But now we have to revisit them again of what is the timeline. Because the survey has been done by our comms unit of where the CCTV camera to be installed around the streets, but it's only them. We are waiting for them for how they will assist us on those.
One of the things that is coming through also is when the nightclubs close, after when people come out after 4 or 5 in the morning, and a lot of people have raised concerns about the behavior. And generally, majority of the people are just trying to go home, but others are also looking for trouble. How are you planning to counter that?
We have started that last 2 weeks, especially early morning. Our patrol team from Police Mobile Force to come down to the city at the hour of closure of the nightclubs to assist Central Division in clearing the darkness on the streets, so that it create a safe haven for the people who are on the walking along the streets in terms of their business or of their commitment. That's what we have done for the time being. This especially on Saturday morning, Sunday morning, people are going early to church, and these people are coming out from the nightclubs. So we already had a meeting with the commanding officer PMF to assist Central Division on those.
Okay, so that's the Police Mobile Force.
Yes, Police Mobile Force, which was Police Response Unit before, has been renamed.
Back to the original name?
Original name.
And the Mobile Force, what will be the level of engagement?
They do that every night. When after like late night, they will be assisting Southern Division in covering the suburb of Southern Division, because if you see the criminal landscape in terms of the early morning reports, most of these opportunities in line with aggravated robbery is happening especially in the Southern Division. So that's why we have a meeting with the commanding officer at the PMF to support the Southern Divisions, and early morning to come down to Suva City to assist Central Division in clearing the city in terms of drunkenness.
It's a lot of work that you have planned out, Director Ops.
It's a lot of work, and we really have to see that things are done. That's why we have our audit team to do the follow-up.
You have an audit?
Yes, an audit team, including the media, that they will be doing, giving me the reports after shooting the streets where the police officers are supposed to be visible. They are not there, so I have to question the officer in charge of those officers where they were at that moment in time. If I do not have any monitoring team or any audit team with me, then how will I know that the officers are on the streets?
So it's not just you setting out the operations, you have to ensure there's feedback.
Feedbacks, yes. It's not that I don't believe the senior officers who are down there on the ground. No, it's just a matter of monitoring mechanisms and make sure that things are done. Otherwise, we'll be telling lies to the public because this is a commitment. When we interview, it's a commitment to the community.
People and the members of the public expect police to always ensure that they ensure that the law is enforced to its fullest and that the people are safe as far as national security and people's individual security is concerned. We definitely cannot have operations what we were doing 10 years ago and duplicate it now because of the increasing number of people. So can you talk about that?
The operation strategies in the previous 10 years ago, it works then. When development, there's more development, populations have increases, we have to re-strategize our mode of operations to meet the need on the ground. So to null and void criminal elements. If we adopt the strategy 10 years ago, it won't work.
The owner of McDonald's was saying, even in Nandi, during that public consultation about nightclub operating hours, he was saying that how his staff get hassled and even they've got their windows and other things damaged. The price they have to pay as well in relation to, according to him, this is all happening because of the nightclub opening hours going till 5 in the morning.
I'm sure that if the government have relook into the closing hours of this nightclub, and it will, like I had mentioned earlier, it will be a great assistance to us. Because before, nightclubs always close at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock early morning. And that gives us a good time to clear off.
And you can coordinate the clearance.
But in the morning, 5 o'clock, closing hours of nightclubs, when they come out of the nightclubs, the people who are walking in the morning to their office, they'll meet up with these people on the streets. Maybe the stomach are empty, and this is what they are doing.
Opportunistic.
Opportunist crime.
For those who are watching, we are close to the Suva Handicraft Center, and that's also to ensure that the people on this side of the city also feel safe at night, and this sort of has the activities of food stalls and other things. Why have you chosen this around this location to have a tent?
Because there, in the hours of the night, this place is also busy. People are moving around here to buy food from the food stall, walking on the seawall, just to spare times. And we think of these very critical locations that we have to have our police tent and police guard static, so we can provide security to those people who are using this area of the city in the night.
A lot of cases of drugs.
Yeah, last year we managed to have some cases that the drugs has been found in some of the food stalls, and likewise the stolen items. And for now, I'll come back to you, Mr. Vijay, then to reapproach the Suva City Council of how best we can solve these issues in terms of giving the license, Suva City Council to give the license to food stall owners. And not to stop them from selling, but the strategies that will be in place to avoid all this.
Because you totally believe, based on your checks, that as you had said earlier in our walk, that you have found drugs,
Yes.
and you have found stolen items in the food stalls. Glue sniffing is another issue.
Yes, glue sniffing is another issue. The challenge with us, the Fiji police, because there's no legislation. That is one. Second, the license has been given to the business people to sell, and that is one of the things that we really have to look. The government have to look into those, the legislations, and also the company to be licensed to sell this. Just the same as paraquat, the chemical, the paraquat in which the most suicide was being committed using paraquat. So the government have initiative in place. They have replaced the paraquat with other chemicals, which is not more dangerous like paraquat. But if they can do that, I'm sure this government too can do this.
There's a lot of children, a lot of young people, even adults have been seen sniffing glue. Must be a real situation for you.
Yeah, really, it's really a challenge for us, the police, the Fiji police, because it increases. It's like glue sniffing is just like walking the same as drugs. Like people are walking with absent mind and do things that we really think that they cannot do that, but they did it because of intoxication that has been made by this glue sniffing. Yeah.
And if you confiscate the glue, you're saying that there's no legislation to say the glue is banned or the glue is an illicit substance that you can charge a person. So when you confiscate it, do you see these same people coming back with the glue again on the streets?
Yes. We can see them again on the streets, the same people. We can see them back on the streets, even though we have seized the glue from them in the previous weeks, maybe in the previous month, but in the following month you can see them back on the streets.
So what you'd like is to ensure that the glue is not an allowable product, that particular glue.
In that, Mr. Vijay, I could say that at this moment it's too early for me because there is no government order in place to suspend the selling of glue, and we need some kind of legal guidance on those.
And you're waiting for the government
Yes.
to come back to you on that. What are your other issues of concern? I noticed this where we're standing in the mornings. There's a lot of running of the red lights, and then the police now, just in the past few days, are stationed at critical points to ensure they're watching and also directing traffic. Can tell you, based on witnesses, this is a place that almost like people think they're driving race cars, and even when there's a red light, they drive through the red light, which can cause major accidents, which can cause death. So what's the change in operation in relation to spots like this?
I think Mr. Vijay will go back to visibility because I can categorize these drivers as opportunists. When there's no police officers on the roadside, they do that. But when police officers are on the road, the visibility of police officers are there, they change. They comply to the rule or the law of the road. So visibility is one of the major issue that we have to really address internally by us.
The other issue is the cameras working at the red lights. I believe it was going on and off at certain times to ensure that they are operational, so that if anybody breaks the law, runs the red light, the camera will get you.
In some cases, we have been assisted by the LTA because that's theirs, it's not ours, and we usually go back to them to seek the assistance in terms of how best we can uplift those footage in terms of vehicles. But I could say, if our CCTV cameras on the streets, all things solved.
Why are we playing outside?
Because my dad is thinking my home is gonna be super cool.
No way!
Yeah, he makes me a new desk.
Well, then we can stay together.
He's also gonna paint my walls.
Where did he get this tooth from?
Xavier's there for everything you need.
I wish my dad could do that.
Because your dad is not Xavier's dad.
Dad, go to Xavier's!
Bula Vinaka, we are Dauntless Movement Crew here from Australia, and we are so excited to perform for you guys for the Fiji Showcase in 2023.
Move over, cause here we come. We got a party that's kicking like all night long. We got jet drinks like extra strong, and already be living till we're seeing the sun. Move over, cause here we come. We got a party that's kicking like all night long. We got jet drinks like extra strong, and already be living till we're seeing over, cause here we come. We got a party that's kicking like all night long. We got 10 drinks like extra strong.
It's gonna be awesome. So come on down with your family and friends. We'll be at the Vodafone Arena in Suva from the 30th of June to the 8th of July. See you there.
So we've taken a tour of Suva City, and I believe for those who are watching at home and those who are watching outside of Fiji, we gave you a glimpse of our city as well in the day here. But as we've said, let's talk about, you've got other tents in the day as well in strategic locations. If you can talk about them and why.
Thank you. The community and the public out there, be rest assured that we have strategic locations in the city of Suva where we have our police tent with our steady guards, which is one at Suva City Library, which is here, and one at Handicraft Center, which they operate in the hours of the night. And the other one is Stair Walk, which is in the Cumming Street, and one at the Stewart Street. We have these because the issues that have been raised in the previous months and years of these opportunists, they are roaming around the city, try to execute their plans in terms of petty theft, pickpockets and all those. So we have done this for that, and also the visibility of our police officers to be seen on the streets, because the citizens out there or visitors, maybe they need assistance, police assistance. They do not have to go right to central police stations, but they can use our police stands around to seek for assistance, and also the response time. When things are happening, happens in the city or in the CBD of Suva, we have our police officers available on the ground, which they can respond in a few minutes, rather than traveling from the police stations in central police station to where they need assistance.
Talking about our tent at Stewart Street, and of course on the other side you've got certain operational procedures that you've got from the bus stand area. How are you working that one out?
We have the tent at the Stewart Street. That is one of the strategic locations we have identified. That is like a escape route for these opportunists. So while we have our police officers there, especially in the hour of the day, it's like a deterrent to these opportunists. And to coordinate with the Market Police Post, which is closer to the bus stand, which you can see in the afternoon, people are piled up there to wait for their buses to go home, and also we have to provide safety for them, as we have been receiving some of the issues that people have been robbed, like waiting for their bus transport to go back home, especially in the afternoon.
So operations-wise, you are okay with vehicles? How you have distributed here?
Yes, the capabilities in terms of our vehicles, we are okay on land, by road, because we have a central police station which is not far from Samabula. If we have a sort of transportation, we have our transport pool in Assese. We have a Fiji Police Academy, which they have also vehicles. We can ask assistance from them, and the backup from police mobile force. So we have that. And in terms of coverage in the coastal area, we have a water pole capabilities, which is based at in Raunibota in Lami, which they can assist us on those areas.
And you're not forgetting, just people who will be watching at home, residential areas. This is because you know there's a need here. You've changed the operations, and your other operations also you're looking at as far as safety in the neighborhoods are concerned?
Yes, for the people out there in the urban areas, don't take me wrong. And what I have mentioned, that the coverage in the city area has been done and be re-strategized. We are also here to cover you up, and the officers are also on foot, especially in the hours of night. They walk the street, they walk the tracks, and they're also on mobility in terms of vehicles. We have our police mobile force supporting all the divisions, especially Central and Southern Division, the coverage, and be rest assured, if you raise a concern to any police stations, nobody responds to your good report, take this number, 9904-905. That is your Director Operations mobile number. Call me at any time, either in the day, midnight, or early morning.
Thank you very much. That's Fiji Police Forces Director of Operations, Kasiano Busonilawe. And we appreciate that you've taken out this much time to come on our Fiji Village Straight Talk show outside of the studio to show and tell what's happening. And no doubt we will continue to follow this up. And we have also been promised that in the next few weeks we will do this again at night on the operations that are underway by the Fiji Police Force. Until next show, have a good evening.
Crew here from Australia, and we are so excited to perform for you guys for the Fiji Showcase in 2023.
Move over, cause here we come. We got a party that's kicking like all night long. We got 10 drinks like extra strong, and already be living till we're seeing the sun. Move over, cause here we come. We got a party that's kicking like all night long. We got 10 drinks like extra strong, and already be living till we're seeing the sun. We bring it like this, we bring it like that. We bring it to the party like we all that. Yeah, we got a party here, that's right. We bring it like this, we bring it like that. We bring it to the party like we all that. Yeah, sound is hot, that's right. Move over, cause here we come. We got a party that's kicking like all night long. We got 10 drinks like extra strong.
It's gonna be awesome. So come on down with your family and friends. We'll be at the Vodafone Arena in Suva from the 30th of June to the 8th of July. See you there!